Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still need to call Kenny Lowe because,
Okay. Kenny Lowe.
Commissioner Lowe?
Commissioner? Well, I see you here, so. Commissioner Kerry Wright.
Well, not really here. Not really here.
and just for the point of clarification with the roll call, Mr. Wright is here as newly appointed, but Mr. Wright has not been sworn in yet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so it's not official member until we get
Been
that.
sworn in.
Okay, you.
Okay, you have a quorum.
Thank you. You have before you the minutes from our last meeting. If you'll take a moment to take a look at them and
Motion move for the adoption of the minutes.
Second.
have a motion on the floor to, all in favor of approval of the minutes, please say.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I have no cards for public, I do
Let's got
have
this one.
cards. Okay.
Yes, I'll walk up to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask for an adjustment in our agenda for today. We have people who are visiting us, rather than tie them up during our full board meeting, we have a couple of guests who have presentations to make. I would ask, make a motion that we move them up in the agenda under the public participation in order that we could relieve them of the misery of sitting through our meeting.
Need a motion for the.
I made the
That's the motion.
That's the motion,
Need a second.
Well, motion to modify the agenda.
yes.
We have a second from Commissioner Jackson. Any nays? Motion is approved.
Take
I have one card before me. I don't have a name. Ms. Kearns,
Yes.
please come forward.
Where should I be?
Send right to the square, yeah. And you're with,
100.
I'm with 100 Families, Pulaski County.
okay,
And I just wanted to, this is my first meeting, and I just wanted to come in and introduce myself and 100 Families, Pulaski County. If you were not familiar with us, my name is Emily Kearns, and I'm the coordinator of 100 Families, Pulaski County. We are an initiative of Restore Hope. We work with families in crisis, providing case management for folks in a very holistic manner. One of the aspects that we work with folks a lot is housing. We have been working with the city of Little Rock in helping folks with Big Country and with Bradford Estates the past few weeks. I have, let's see, 4 full-time case managers who have been working with folks in specifically the 72204 area code, and we are encountering lots of issues in terms of finding housing for those folks. And I just want to let you know that we are on the ground, we are involved, and we want to be partners with MHA every day. So this is us. Please see us hopefully as a potential resource and partner for the future. So that is all.
Thank you, Ms. Kearns.
thank you. And Director Benedicto, is she included in, as a part of our partners and that sort of thing? She has been
She is on our list. 100 Families is. Yes.
We have worked with them in the past. Lashana Bruce was our former contact with 100 Families. We've worked with Paul Chatton, who is the executive director of 100 Families. So we have a
Have a
previous
relationship.
relationship with them.
Okay. And our next presenter would be,
It looks like a David Graft.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you for that motion to move us up to the top.
We try to be courteous.
Yes, thank you. My name's Dave Graff, and I'm with the Friday Law Firm, and I've got Catherine Johnson here with me as well. And we're here on behalf of Arkansas Enterprises for the Developmentally Disabled, and our corporate location is right next to the Harmony Clinic there on Roosevelt. I guess our purpose here this morning is to maybe inquire about whether there was any interest on the part of MHA to look at selling that Harmony Clinic property to us, or actually put it out officially for bids and see where that goes. But AEDD is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 organization that was created primarily to provide services to disabled individuals who live in the state of Arkansas. It goes all the way back to 1971. A gentleman by the name of Sam Sanders started it. He had a disabled daughter and really had a purpose and a mission to do something for disabled individuals. And back in '71, they started out over there on Welch Street with 13 clients. And actually, Mr. Sanders, went to Herschel Friday of the Friday Law Firm, who also had a disabled child, to have him assist with various corporate matters. And initially, over there on Welch Street, with these 13 clients, it provided work opportunities, taught them, gave them an opportunity for recreational and leisure activities, and then also taught daily living skills to these individuals so they could go out and maybe operate on their own a little bit. From that, community living was created. That's a subsidiary of AEDD that provides a number of homes throughout the area and the state to have disabled individuals come together in a group setting and again teach daily living activities, and then have them go out into the working world and pursue employment opportunities. We also have over in North Little Rock the Sammy Gale Sanders Development Center, which provides opportunities for little ones from 6 months to 5 years old that have disabilities. And then we also in Southwest Little Rock have a training center that teaches various skills for those who want to get out into the employment world. Our interest in the property, that our corporate headquarters is over there on Roosevelt. Our interest in the Harmony Clinic property would be to expand our training center that's over in Southwest Little Rock, and in fact probably move that service over next to us on Roosevelt, and then expand our administrative offices over there. I don't know if y'all have any questions, but that's...
But Mr. Graham, this is ex-chairman though.
Yes, sir.
Just want to say, enjoyed working with you. Even though I won't be too far away, I'll be on the other side of the Central Arkansas Housing Corporation. And you got my number. Anything I can do to help with this process, All you gotta do is call.
Sounds good, sir. I'll be happy to make note of that, and definitely, if I have any questions, I'll give you a call.
You began your statement by asking if there's some interest.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a discussion in place at the board level and with the director. We are just making sure our i's are dotted, our t's are crossed as we move forward in this process. We do have a few folk who have approached us, and certainly we want to be fair in publicizing the property.
Correct.
We have a real estate agent that will be working with us on that property.
Yeah.
So, the answer to your question is yes, there's some interest in, selling that property.
Okay.
So we're just taking our time and making sure that we satisfy all the questions around the property and all of what we're required to do in making sure nobody comes back to hunt us down
Sure.
in the manner in which we get rid of the property.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that it's done correctly.
No, that sounds good. I mean, we just definitely want to be involved and to make it clear, like I shared with Erica, we're not looking to come in and steal the property or make a low ball type bid. We want to be a player and make a full priced offer. We're very interested in it.
Just to let the board know that during our discussion, it was mentioned that, whatever's listed at the assessor's office, they're willing to pay that price. So it's not like they're trying to come in and, take the property.
Right.
They're offering fair market price for it. It's just that we've got to go through the Section 18 disposition in order to make sure our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted.
To make a long story short, it's not gonna happen overnight.
No, I hear you.
Process
No,
we
it's not.
have to go through in order to make it come through, but we're working on it, and we'll keep you in mind.
No, that
Okay.
sounds good. I mean, my position over at the Friday firm, I'm an employee benefits lawyer, and I deal a lot with the IRS, the Department of Labor, and the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, all governmental agencies.
Yes.
And so I know that this process is gonna take some time, and we're perfectly willing to be patient and sit back and just, if you would, keep us informed, please.
Will do.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, want to recognize Ms. Jackie Otto from our HUD field office during this period, and also check in with her to see if she has any comments as part of this meeting structure. Ms. Otto?
Ms. Otto? I guess.
No comments at this
No
time?
comments at this time, okay?
Okay.
We'll proceed on, and if, we'll try back later.
Okay.
Director Benedicto?
Okay. Let's see. So where are we on the agenda? Have we had an approval of the agenda already?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, it looks like we're ready for the executive director's report then. So for the Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 report, I'll ask Patrice Brumfield to come up and give us the numbers for our various
Board,
programs.
there is a message from Ms. Otto.
Oh, okay.
She sent a message that said that her mic was not working, but that she had no comments at this time.
Thank
So she may send a text message, if so, I will just let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to report on the movement that we've had with the HCV department. We are at 90% voucher utilization. Mainstream with 156 allocated, 103 leased. Elm Street, 52 allocated, 37 leased. Emergency housing vouchers, we have 95 allocated. We have 59 leased with two more leased from last month. And for FYI, we have 25 allocated with 13 leased, with an inspection coming up for that program as well. And that's all I have right now.
Ms. Brumfield, and I'm also gonna direct this to, the director. The board continues to get calls, emails, particularly, over issues that they may be having with the Section 8 department. And whereas we as the board do not run the day-to-day operation, we do give oversight, and we do have to be valid and credible to the public that we represent. So when they're asking us questions, we're gonna come back and bring those questions to you for the resolution. And the main question and concern they have is the answering of phones. And I join that irritation. The least people can do is answer the phone. So, and the concern is that they're unable, and then they're reaching full mailboxes. So is there any movement in that area? I know we got a new phone system, and let me say first though, with all of the new things that are happening around housing, I first want to appreciate you for the job that you're doing. It is stressful, it is aggravating, it is overwhelming to us all. But this is the time when we all should be getting better at what we do. And answering phones and easing, and then you also have the transition of what's going on with yards. But this is the time when we'll have to do our best to cut down on client irritation, customer irritation, vendor irritation, in being able to answer their phones. And Director, I do appreciate that you've taken the time to answer some of those emails. They see, and one of the reasons our numbers are out there is because we do want to know how well we're doing. And the clients tell us how well we're doing, because we want to still build us up as much as possible. So again, the major irritation is the answering of phones. And I will say that people who work for us, if you're not answering the phone, your crew ain't going to answer the phone. They pick up the same pattern that leadership does. It's just how it is. If I'm never in the office, then my folks ain't gonna be in the office. You know, they think it's their holiday too. So I'm just asking, what are we doing to resolve some of the customer irritation that we have as we go through all this transitioning and trying to meet the needs of our clients?
So what I would say is I have met with my team in reference to answering the phones. So it is a lot going on right now in our department, so we are answering the phones when we can, and we also have been taking the time to return phone calls. So.
Are we cleaning out those mailboxes?
Yes, now, I have to admit, that has been a problem with people calling and meeting a full mailbox. I've cleaned up mine as well. Okay, guilty. Now, I will say this, during the tech report, you'll hear from Carlos what further we're doing to deal with the phones, and to get them better answered, and he'll explain with the feature that we haven't quite utilized yet, that he's going to go ahead and build out, that we're in process of doing, because we knew this was coming. So, and he'll provide that from the board report with the tech committee.
Okay, I got two questions. One is, how are we doing on the Section 8 home ownership and FSS program?
Yes.
Chairman Lowe, we are,
Doing good with home ownership.
yeah.
I'm not familiar with the name, but we do have one that is getting ready to.
Purchase.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So how are we marketing that?
Well, what I was going to say is, right now, we are really in the throes of troubleshooting right after that first check run in Yardi, and so we are not being as programmatic with promoting. We are having some outreach and phone calls with our continuum of care agencies to get our EHV off the ground, that's been going very well. But the labor of getting our cleanup and this migration off the ground has really diverted our attention from really promoting. At this time, we don't even have the capacity to work on promoting and tending to the program. We're hoping, the goal was this first quarter, we knew it would be this way, but with this push, this first quarter. We're hoping by the second quarter, we can become more programmatic and do more outreach and really buttress our programs.
How many people do we have on the Section 8 FSS and public housing FSS?
Well, I had those numbers in front of me last board meeting. Patrice, do you know?
There were 7 the last on this report, and I noticed that it's not on this report, and I think we need to include it.
FSS? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to FSS, that's Section 8 and that's public housing.
Right.
But I didn't think we had introduced the public housing
No, we
FSS
hadn't.
at this point.
So the 7 were all
All, Section 8.
Section 8. And so,
But I don't think anybody in public housing is aware that they're eligible for FSS.
we need, yeah, and that's the word that we need to get out.
Well, I think we've had people that have tried to access it, but they access it the wrong way. You can't just go out and use public housing.
No,
Go pick up
you
a
gotta be
house.
part of the program.
You have to be part of the program. We've had people who have found houses and said, okay, I've been in public housing 12 years, and I need to be able to use whatever your contribution is to go and buy this house. That can't happen. That's not how it's done. And
And I think they have a misunderstanding with FSS. FSS is there to work your way off of housing assistance. And a lot of them tend to get weary. It's a unknown area for them. That, you know, if I'm gonna work my way off of it, then what am I gonna do about my housing? Well, you'll have the skills that are necessary to provide your housing. Plus, I have a little check on the side ready for you when you do go out of housing assistance. So I think it's just, you know, a matter of education and letting them know what the programs are all about.
Okay. And did I hear you to say that there was one that was finishing up?
Home ownership?
Uh-huh.
That would be correct.
That,
Yes.
okay, so what's the next step as far as, have they selected a home or what?
So
where are they?
actually, I just got that news right before I walked down, and they thought it would be good to present to the board, to let you know that we do have movement in that program.
Okay,
So if you like, I could have all the details for that client.
yeah, and I think that is something that needs to get out. I mean, so now what happens is that she actually, and I say she, but first, the individual actually gets a check that they can use to purchase a home or whatever. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that's Mr. Chairman, that's FSS. Section 8 home ownership is just like they go out, find a place, get a mortgage. Instead of paying that amount to the homeowner, that amount is paid to the bank, as well as the subsidy is paid to the bank.
Okay.
We're basically talking about the same thing.
Yeah, same thing,
But-
okay. So, but I think that's really a positive approach that we need to promote. And if we could do something special
Yes,
at
sir.
our next
I'm taking-
meeting
I'm-
to bring that to the forefront if we could.
Yes, sir.
And the
Next
reason,
one.
Patrice, we're asking questions, you and the body may or may not know that the director and the board were summoned over to the city of Little Rock to talk about the issues and opportunities for individuals who are coming from Big Country, Bradley Estates, and a lot of the properties that are not in the news right now, but individuals are suffering from the same issues. There is a learning curve there for members of the city board and how these situations work, and that we don't just pass out vouchers, and that there is a housing crisis going on in Little Rock and has been for several years. So we just want to make sure that our numbers are as valid as we can get to, and that we're providing as many opportunities. And I thank Tracy Shine for being in the room today as a part of our partnership with the city, so that we can keep those numbers as valid and as correct as we possibly can. I don't like it when we have city officials who really don't understand how we do business, saying that we're not cooperating with them to resolve problems that we are faced with every day. You know,
Right.
not because somebody because something appears in the newspaper, But we're dealing with this issue of housing those who deserve safe, healthy housing, affordable housing in this community every day. And we don't have picks and chooses. It's first come, first serve. So as long as we can keep our numbers as clear as where we can, so on a minute's notice, if they call us up, we can answer, because we don't want to give any indication that somebody over here doesn't know what they're doing.
Absolutely, I agree. So as
Well,
far as,
let me ask you another question. Previously, this goes towards the budget. Previously, we had a policy of not paying for port hours. Is that still in effect, or are we paying for port hours?
that's still in effect, yes.
So we're not paying, if somebody wants to put out, we're not paying, it's the receiving housing authority that's paying,
Yes.
okay?
Okay. My only other question, I guess, is that as far as this utilization rate, and I have a problem from month to month in noticing whether or not it's increasing or decreasing and that sort of thing. So on each one of these mainstream especially, and the emergency housing vouchers, is there some movement there to the positive from last month?
It is movement. Like I said, I mean, with the conversion and everything, we are
Okay.
trying to, get more accurate numbers, but yes, it is progress. However, we still have our clients who are moving out at the same time, so.
Okay, just a caveat, on those emergency housing vouchers,
Mm-hmm.
the target is September of this year, okay? If those vouchers are not leased, we lose them.
Right.
Right.
So just a caveat.
So we need to move on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And one
Well, that's
other,
about another 6 months away, in September.
That's right.
Well, I think also we take into consideration the housing stock
Yes.
and what the inventory is.
Agreed.
And making sure that we note that at every point, that there are people on the streets with vouchers, but because of what happened during COVID, and we had Westbridge that at one time took care of vouchers, who stepped away from the program, and all of the other interests that are just not there. So that needs to also be a part of our reporting, where we are in landlord recruiting.
Okay. Now, with the emergency housing vouchers, we do try to pay special attention to those.
Okay.
We try to update those clients with leads, more so than, our other voucher holders. But we do try to pay special attention to our EHV vouchers.
And right now, our house is working we're trying to give them accurate information. They're gonna put EHV information on their hotline, because we know we gotta get them leased up by September, or we'll lose those vouchers. So we're really working with them to get that information out there. Deborah has just given us a list of available units, so we're working. So Patrice has a designated housing specialist working to get that information to clients who are searching with EHV, so we can get those lease ups to keep those vouchers. Such a great program.
Now, was a review or a
Yes,
scheduled
sir.
review which is it?
So there was an on-site EHV review. That was February, whenever we had the inclement weather. And then, so we do have another review,
On-site.
Section 8 on-site review, that was initially scheduled for March 21st through the 24th. The date has changed to March 27th through, let's just say, the 30th. So, yeah, we've been preparing for that, so very administrative here lately.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, have they sent any preliminary finding?
Not from the EHV review, not yet. Now, I can tell you, they did share just at least one finding. So with EHV, when that voucher is issued, it's 120 days initially.
120 days for.
For that,
Okay,
yeah, for that,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
there's a final spot.
yes, right. And so that's different from the regular HCV, right, which is 90 days. And a couple times, the voucher was issued 90 days, and they were given a 30-day extension. But it has to initially be given 120 days off the bat. And so they said that was typical because, people, housing specialists are so conditioned to do the 90-day voucher. So they just, understandably so, someone would make that mistake, particularly if they're a new housing specialist. So they did see that a couple of times. And so they said that would be a finding. We knew that off the bat, that would be a finding. But we haven't received anything in writing or formally yet regarding that review.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I do know Tracy Shawn is here, and she was asking to do a report about Big Country, so if it's okay.
Yes.
Happy
Yes, ma'am.
Thursday, everyone. I'm gonna be real quick. So, Big Country Shadow, the city of Little Rock is currently working with the residents that do not have vouchers. We're helping them with relocation, and we're using Barrington Hills and Westbridge. We have contacted those properties, and they're working with us to relocate those tenants that did not have vouchers. But for our voucher tenants, we have some funding that we're willing to assist your tenants with as far as deposits. So if you're working with them, Patrice, and they're actually found a place to relocate and wanting, that's the problem we're dealing with. As Commissioner Lindsay stated the other day, those persons actually wanting to leave. This is not a new thing for the media. They're acting like this is a new thing with our Big Country Shadow tenants. But of course, now we're just offering them more resources. So the city of Little Rock is willing to assist those voucher recipients with deposits. And we're currently the ones that do not have vouchers. We're working, we have relocated 14 at this time. So we're still working with those persons in relocation, and our code enforcement is still continuing with the inspector and working with the property manager to get those things, remedied and fixed.
Let me ask you a question. Has any of those tenants at Big Country been approached about emergency housing vouchers?
That's a good.
If they're vouchers, we're not the person servicing those. If they're-
No. I mean, have those that don't have vouchers and have run the risk of being homeless, have they been approached about emergency housing vouchers?
No, they have not been offered the emergency housing voucher option.
Would they qualify?
They
Well, that's what the public notice says, if you run the risk of being
So they
homeless.
would. They would.
On our end, we were asking them to put themselves on the wait list.
To the referring
So,
agencies,
Go to
yeah.
a referring agency to be, added to our waiting list. So that's
We
what
have-
we're doing on our end.
And we had one, let me correct that, we had one, 100 families had one person that was trying to go through that process, but no, the city of Little Rock has not directly communicated or referred anybody for the emergency
Right.
housing voucher. But I will be meeting with Catch, we're having a retreat on tomorrow, so I'm going to communicate this good news about the emergency the vouchers that are open, and tell them to utilize their referral services.
Two things, Tracy. Can you talk a little bit about the new services from the water company? And also, in your retreat, would you share information with members of CATCH that the process is still a process? Even though it's an emergency voucher? That people still are, the application still is in place, the vetting of the individual, credit reports, all that stuff is still in place. So would you please share, because what we're getting in the field is that people are upset that they're even asked to fill out an application. So please make sure that those agencies that are working this program are aware of what the process is.
Okay, and is somebody here at MHA assisting with the application process, or only those referral agencies are gonna be the persons assisting those clients that are filling out the EHV application? Because that's where we're finding the capacity and competency to complete those applications from A to Z
it causes pause and they get frustrated. So, are you,
It's
So the
supposed to
refer
be-
agency,
you're
okay.
absolutely right.
No, say that again?
It's the referring agency that should
Agency,
be,
yeah,
that should be
that.
offering that help.
okay, so just clear on that, I will communicate that, and you said your first question, the water company. So the water company also has federal funds that are available to help low-income families pay their water bill. And it's also an application process, you apply online, I didn't actually bring the flyer, but Erica, I'll email that, over to you so you can share it with your team. And that funding runs out in September. So if you know, originally that program was just for persons who were dealing with a shut-off notice. But now it is funding that is gonna assist low-income families actually pay their water bill. It's sort of a system where they pay so much monthly, but again, it's funding available for that low-income family and has to be expensed by September. And the application is out there on the Central Arkansas Water site. I also have a flyer, but I'll send that over to Erica. So I think that's a good relief as far as bill, the utility services going on.
What reason I asked for the emergency housing voucher, there's extra money with those vouchers versus Section 8. There's utility payments, there's searching, plus Section 8, there's a stipend off of those extra monies that are in that emergency housing voucher. Moving expenses as well, all that's covered in the public notice of the emergency housing voucher. So I just think it would behoove us to at least try, and with the referral agencies, to make that known to those people who run the risk of being homeless.
I think we're on one accord. That's what we just said. That's what we're all on one accord. But that's my report. I don't want to hold the time. So Big Country Chateau, we're moving forward. MHA and City of Little Rock, we're working together. If they have a voucher, we refer them back over here to the agency. We have one young lady, Miss Porter. We have put her in a house because she's a voucher recipient, but her apartment actually burned.
Oh, my.
So she actually burned, but she's needing to get, find another residence for that voucher. But we're assisting with hotel vouchers, and we did a majority of anybody that was on the rent roll for Big Country Chateau provided hotel voucher stay so they can be in that category of the homeless be eligible for the emergency housing our as well. So we knew it would work twofold. But that's it. I'll be in continuous contact with Patrice and Erica, and I'm excited about our partnership.
Let me ask you one more question. The 14 that you mentioned,
Yes.
is this, those were the 14 that we assisted them with? Is that what we're talking about?
It's 14 that have been identified to have vouchers with
Okay,
MHA.
okay,
So we
that's
can't
what-
double dip as far as the
That's what
federal funding.
that was my
So
question.
those, we're just waiting, and again, for them to make the decision.
Yes.
We sent 2 notices, and I know back in June and July,
We did our part.
Erica, so again, this is
We done our
not
part.
brand new. And 100 Families has also been doing case management and working with us, communicating what resources and how to move to the next steps. So I don't think it's not because we have resources available or have not communicated to them. It's just them actually moving their steps forward and making a decision to do those things that we have.
Well, I like the suggestion that Director Benedicto said that those with vouchers who don't want to move, that they sign a waiver, because that alleviates us that we tried to move them, but they didn't want to move.
We also provided a waiver, but they didn't sign the waiver, so good luck. Good luck on the waiver. I'll email you my waiver.
Ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'll email you my waiver, but
That
again,
is.
they say that they were not being evicted, they were not put out, and they didn't see a need to sign a waiver, which is, their civil liberties as well. But I will share the waiver with you, and good luck getting your inspectors in person to say that they don't want your service.
Thank you, Tracy. So we had 28 in total initially,
Yes.
but this is our final 14
Okay.
that
So
we're
it's
trying to,
Okay.
oh,
Okay. Well, before we leave, I would like to say this, that as Commissioner Anthony mentioned, she did make a presentation, an excellent presentation to the city board about this problem, this housing problem. And it's not something that's new. It's something that has been with us for a while that has just not been addressed. And the Big Country is just the tip of the iceberg, and Commissioner Anthony, told them, if you don't believe me, just get in my car, we'll ride around and see them, you know, because it is there, and it's just now hitting the surface. But, thank you, all right, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, I'm gonna give that waiver a shot, though, we'll see. Yeah. All right, so finance report. So one of the things, Commissioner Lindsay, you asked for was a larger budget.
So we can see it.
So you can actually see it, put it on 2 pages, and I think you asked for a logo too. So I did do that, so that is, in your binder. And, of course, well, it's a little bit bigger, I guess. And, also, as you all are aware, that we knew the first quarter we were going to work with a local agency, and we are actually working with a local accounting firm to get us caught up, and we're working with the Yardi to get our chart of accounts together and get our ending balances ported over so that we can have our financial reports in April. So in the meanwhile, this is the updated or the larger agency-wide budget. We have been working, though, to upload the required financial documents that was due on March 10th, I believe, for the review, the on-site review, which has been pretty labor-intensive. And Alpha has been working on an op fund report, just trying to get her in the actual portal to get it entered in, so that actually is due as well. So work has been going on in the finance department. But anyway, I would say in April you should anticipate your more conventional finance report.
We are all certainly looking forward to what Yardi is going to do in the future. We understand the ups and downs of going through a transition. We're going through it at this time too, so it can be painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, it's really trying to work through the chart of accounts, just because, we're just trying to make sure that it's a clean chart of accounts. We weren't a part of when it was put together, so. And we're getting through it. And trying to get our meager code to get a green light with Bank of America, so we hadn't got that passed yet. So there's a call today with our Yardi team at 2 to make sure our checks can pass. But anyway, we're getting there.
So, we were doing a test run. How did that go? Or
So we had our actual
okay.
run, yes.
This is through Yardi.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How did it go?
Yes.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I thought it went great initially. How would y'all give it a grade? I thought it was a B, then I went to a C, then a C minus.
In some areas, it was very good.
It's what?
And in some areas, it was very good. In other areas, there's room to grow.
So, yeah.
It was a lot
It
of
hurt.
experience.
It hurt.
Yeah, but but it's gonna be good.
Let me ask a question. Is it mandatory that we use checks?
Use what?
Oh, checks?
Is it mandatory that we use checks
Well,
No.
versus electronic funds transfer?
So most of the payments were EFT, which was great, It's just that, of course, sometimes checks happen, and whenever they do happen, the meeker code has to be just right, and it's just not so far. And the issue, this is kind of the perfect storm, because it just so happened we're doing this conversion just when Bank of America has ended their card program for the utility allowance that our tenants receive. And it's so they're getting checks for their utility allowance just when our checks aren't being approved, with the meeker code being just a little bit off. So we had to handwrite all these checks, you know. So anyway, we're getting there, and we're encouraging the tenants to log on to the portal
Okay.
and to, you know, register for, you know, direct deposit.
Do that.
Yeah.
Is that a I mean,
No, it's not.
it's not, okay.
No, that has to come from the board to make it mandatory for direct deposit, like the state has, and like the federal government has.
Mhm.
But in making that recommendation, or making that requirement, you also have to have a solution for those
Right.
folks who do
Do
not.
not have.
And that's
you
what
gonna have
Bank
to
of
check.
America was
Yeah,
doing.
right.
Yeah.
So we have to find another solution, like the one we had with Bank of America, who was providing the card to be able to send it. Because you cannot force folks
They open a bank
to
account.
go to a bank account. Cannot force them to do that.
Okay. There was, in our last meeting, there was some, journal posting, catching up on posting. Where are we on that?
So, we had someone to start on Monday. Alfred just walked in, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Journal postings, so. So, the chart of accounts, there appears, some of the account numbers are not in Yardi. So before we can move forward with those postings in Yardi, we're at a standstill right now. We're about halfway through. But those journal entries will have to be posted in Yardi. And once we get our chart of accounts straight, then we'll be able to move forward.
So, Alton, I guess the biggest question we're getting is HAP payments, subsidies, and those kinds of things, and how they're flowing through under Yardi. Because, again, going back to the calls and the questions that we get to the board from the public, and again, we don't run the day-to-day, but we give oversight, and we're gonna ask these questions so that we're clear in doing our job. What's happening, or how that's being dealt with.
Well, I'm working with Patrice on, are you speaking on the people who are not getting
The help,
paid?
yeah.
Yes, sir,
HAP
that's the big
payments?
problem, people not getting them.
Yeah, so,
As soon as we receive a message that they have not received payment, we go into Yardi and try to, you know, verify everything between each program to make sure that they are gonna get the correct funds. And we work them as soon as we receive them.
and
One
we
of the
either-
biggest issues, and Yardi's working on this, so typically when a payment happens, it's gonna say LR Housing, it's the sender of the electronic payment. For some reason, it's not showing up as LR Housing, it's reflecting their own company's name. So they, you know, think they didn't get payment. And so, I don't know why that is, they don't know why that is, but they're working on changing that. So quite naturally, they assume they didn't receive payment, but we have to tell them, you received the payment, it may be reflecting your own company's name. Here's the amount you should be looking for. So that's a lot of the troubleshooting that we're doing right now, and one of the kinks that we're working out.
Thank you.
What else?
But, yeah, I got one other question.
Yes, sir.
And I know I sent, Eric and everybody else the CFR for vacancy statement. And just a caveat and a reminder, it's not up for the third-party vendor, Gorman, to do that computation. Based upon the CFR, it's up to the housing authority to do that computation. So that's just a caveat.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Oh, wait. Audit. audit update, just,
I update.
yes, ma'am.
Well, Corey is
Well, my
at,
question, I guess, they have everything that they need from us.
yes, sir. Well, yes, sir, from the MHA side.
Okay. Still no time frame or,
I'm doing what I can to try to find records that may have been kept here for CHC, prior, which is a bit challenging. But, I've provided him all the MHA minutes and all the records he's, needed so
Requested
far.
from us.
Yes, sir.
okay. So we're in their hands.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, sir. But the procurement.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, the RFP for contract management services have closed. So since the last meeting, we re-advertised, we posted it again and did more outreach, because, sole source, and we have since reached out to, the Hatfield office to see if it was sufficient. And we're just awaiting a response, at this time, unless, I don't see Micaiah here, they've responded. So, I'm pretty sure we'll hear something this week, and provided that we should have a scoring team and that scored, this month, and we'll move forward. But we just got to make sure that we're approved to move forward with that sole source. You should have, you asked for your certificate, Commissioner Lindsay.
I got it, yes, thank
And
you.
yes, okay, for your procurement training. We forwarded that over to the field office, I believe, this morning, as well as Patrice's and Micaiah's as well. So we're just trying to keep in compliance with the deck report. And you should also have in your packet a request to renew contract as a neutral appeal office contract. I think it's Ms. Archie Bird.
Mhm.
Was requesting to renew, to get an extension. And
When does it expire?
well, that was in your last packet, but it expired, I guess.
6 months prior to,
90 days.
So it must expire next month, because the request is 30 days.
Right,
Before
30
the
days out
actual-
from, when it expires.
And so her role was a neutral appeal, officer contract, and she is interested in, I guess, a 1-year extension.
How many years total has she been on that contract?
I don't know. I'll have to check and see.
Because the max is 5.
oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I guess the question is she on her,
What year is she in?
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
1 year, yeah.
yeah.
3, I know.
So, yeah, my impression is that she just completed 3 years, but I'll double check.
Well, if she's in that 30-day window, has there an evaluation been done?
No, I have, as a matter of fact, in terms of our services, no one, where a lot of us are new, so no one here.
Well, we are aware of her services, and I
Okay.
think in the last incident, we were at Powell when we had some folks, we had some management folks who wanted to create their own nonprofit to do outside work that was associated with ours. And she came in
yeah.
to explain
Yes, sir.
that no, that couldn't be done.
Okay.
So we have used her, and there were some other issues that we had, that she came in and she did work with. We, doing the 2019 OIG, she was also the attorney who came in and did the evaluation of any jobs that anybody might have that might conflict
Okay.
with the way we do business. So We have a lot of experience with Archie Burton. She's always been great to work with, and she shows up, so.
And good work. yeah.
Yeah, it's very good work.
Mm-hmm.
So I just would be interested to know just what her contract term has
Okay.
been with us.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll provide that.
Yeah, but didn't you say, it expires within 30 days?
Yes,
I said, I just don't want us to be careful, because after that 30 days, it has to go back out for rebid. It becomes a new contract.
well,
I just want us to be aware of that. That's all.
But isn't that the position where we have a pool? Do we not
There's
have?
several.
Well, we
Yes,
haven't
several.
made that decision yet,
What-
whether or not we want to stay with pool or go to individual. The board hadn't made that justification yet.
But that's what we got now, is a
Right.
pool. So we have to deal with what we have in place. We have a pool, and there are several people who go in and out of that pool. So what we have now is a pool situation. So until the board changes it, we have to honor what's in place.
Yeah, but we also have to deal with the contract.
And the length. That's the
Right.
Yeah,
length
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
question
that's
here,
true.
right now, no matter what. So we need to know, where we're staying
on our contract.
on it.
okay,
For-
so,
And then the board can move as
And her
necessary.
evaluation.
Yeah, right, and doing the evaluation, yeah.
okay, so, in terms of her evaluation, so you all be evaluated?
Yes.
And
Okay.
we
And we
can,
have a form,
Okay.
right, we
Yeah,
have a
we have a
form and
val-
everything
we have-
that,
Okay.
that we
Okay.
can do.
And I can tell you, when I was looking at the chart, she just completed 3 years.
Good,
And it
okay.
looks like she's trying to do her first
extension.
Extension.
1-year extension.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
Okay.
we're good.
And with regard to the pool, there are several officers, but that was one of the issues with the procurement policy that needed to be updated, is that it doesn't really speak to how,
Right.
to any use of a pool, period. So that was what needed to be updated or spoken to in the procurement policy. And then
The
sent
board
over.
needs to
Clean it up.
clean that up and make us.
Yeah, either we're gonna have a
Pass
pool or we're
resolution.
gonna go one-on-one.
Right, okay.
That's right. Okay, and what else did you ask me about, Ms. Bird, this issue? So she completed her 3 years and her first 1-year renewal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and then there was a letter in there, provided by Bluefoot, who just wants a meeting with the board, to discuss some issues.
Mhm.
So I guess I can just do a calendar invite, just, it wasn't in particular in terms of renewing a contract, but he wanted to discuss some things with you all. I can get a, invite out to you all and get some calendars together, and of course do a notice. I'll see how y'all want to approach that. In terms of upcoming procurement actions, I'm looking at independent cost estimates for protective services, on-site, which is an on-site security officer for the administration building during certain hours in the lobby. I'm looking for ICE for third-party inspector services before I can put out the RFP. Of course, we need third-party inspectors for Sunset Terrace, towers, and projects to be acquired by CHC. On target to have this ICE and everything done and ready to post by April 1. And needing to do an ICE for additional security equipment to enhance security of building and for staff.
The third party, is that CAHC's responsibility, wouldn't it? Would it fall in
We
there?
do-
Not MHA?
I just love it.
Well, what property you talking about?
What,
Well-
Terrace?
Sunset, which is not gonna be an issue anytime soon.
Okay.
Shouldn't be.
Right,
Oh,
right,
oh.
all that see.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Well, the towers,
eventually, yeah.
yeah, well, we doing the towers now.
No, that's not MHA. If you look at the RAD agreement,
Not
when
yet.
it was signed, the interest went over to CAHC back in
So
2018, 19.
when those units need
Well, we
inspection,
inspected, MHA had it done.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Okay.
do the inspections,
Mhm.
but we have to use
That
third-party
Mhm.
inspectors.
For the towers.
Yes.
Are we talking annual inspection?
Move
No,
in
moving
and,
all of them.
yeah, move in and annual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is anything that
Required.
that has an interest, MHA has any kind of interest in, it has to have a third party.
Okay, I got you, section 8, okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's, okay. So just having good independent cost estimates for that, that's all. That's all on the procurement report. I really don't have much for legal. Didn't get a lot of updates there. I did get some interrogatories sent, but, that's related to ITEX, and I don't think I'm gonna be very helpful on that one. Actually, Chairman Law was gonna ask you some questions about it at a later date.
Well, I can tell you now that with ITEX, I spoke to Attorney Smith day before yesterday. ITEX has submitted some motions for summary judgment, but I don't think they're gonna hold up, based upon the evidence that's already out there. They want to admit that they had a contract, but yeah, if you look at the management agreement, there's a clause in there that says all HUD requirements, okay? That means a document may follow a document, and not just one document is the overriding factor. So it's being litigated. Feel good about it, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right, on the development side, of course, with Sunset Terrace, we've got some section 3 requirements that we have to meet. And so we've got Starla who's doing our section 3 outreach. And something's coming up on March 30th where we're doing a section 3 job fair. You see a copy of the flyer. This is actually the first one. Is not actually a flyer. This is a pop-up. Is that right? Okay. All right. So it's like a booth pop-up. And then, which is informational, you can see for yourself about section 3. And then there's a flyer, promotional flyer. And it's, you know, section 3 is that 1 mile radius of community members that we're reaching out to be in compliance as well. And then, you know, on the site itself, on the Schiller side, there's a some fencing, and Gorman Company has a huge banner. And so there's a banner that will look like this picture that you have in your back of your development tab that has section 3 economic opportunities and information that we'll put out there as well for people to sign up.
Whose number is that?
MHA.
That is switchboard.
Well, it's the front, it's the lobby.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yes.
And that also reaches out to anyone who is on any Section 8 or public housing program to
That's
also
right.
be a part of the Section 3 situation.
Is the section 3 still going to be, as far as like residents, that they reach out to the residents to get into section 3, like they did the
Towers.
Tower.
rehab? They won't be involved messing with their
Right.
vouchers right now.
Oh, right, that's right. That's the great thing about section 3.
It doesn't touch your vouchers.
Yeah.
Or your rent.
Yeah. well, you
It doesn't change it. It doesn't change it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the towers.
Mhm.
Yeah, anybody that's on a federal housing subsidy qualifies for section 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you can get it for.
So I don't have anything else for development.
Okay, moving on. Board reports, employment.
I don't have a report at this time. We do have a matter that we're looking into, but I'm going to defer to the ED for anything that she might have on the plate.
Okay, so, HCV did onboard 2 housing specialists on March 6th and March 7th. Of course, you just mentioned the issue that employment committee is going to look at. And then, so right now, we are asking the employment committee to look at a monthly car allowance for our MHA inspector in lieu of a agency vehicle. So that is in the amount of $500 monthly.
In that car allowance, does it take in repairs to the individual's vehicle?
The fixed amount would cover
Only gas?
whatever they apply that amount to. I mean,
I have a lot of concern, and I think that there needs to be an actual lay-down look at of figures, which would include insurance, repairs, and those kinds of things. When you start looking at car allowances.
And any savings
Yeah,
that it's
if
going to
there
generate.
is, and the realization, if there is a
It's
saving.
anything, yeah, what do we?
Well, I
Because
would
if a person's car is down and they can't do their job,
Yeah,
I
And then they
mean,
don't get the car now.
right,
but
no, but they,
that's not the
I think
point.
Yeah, that's
we have
right.
to write that in the resolution.
But-
What? I mean, if we gonna authorize it, we can put those, uses as what that, for what that car allowance could be.
yeah.
Short of getting my oil change, I don't see what $500 would do.
you think it should be more?
Uh,
Are you saying?
I'm just saying that we need to look at this.
Some more discussion on
There
this
needs to
as
be more
far as-
discussion. And, because, I mean, when you're looking at this person's ability to do their job, and their ability to do their job, we're basing it on the viability of their car, okay?
We don't know the
And
condition of
you
their
don't know,
car.
and don't think that they're gonna go out, buy a new car just so they can do this job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some common sense things that I think we need to look at before we, look at a resolution for a car allowance. I just like to have more
Talk about it.
and look at actual figures of what that vehicle would cost, what the insurance would cost, and what it's going to actually do in getting the job done.
Okay, so what?
Was it total?
Mhm.
What
So-
was it? What year? Do you know what it was?
The year of that vehicle?
Yes,
2010.
it was, oh, it's all right.
So the cost of the insurance, their personal insurance, or you saying the agency's
No.
insurance? What are we
The
talking?
agency's insurance, the agency's gonna buy a vehicle. It'll be
No,
on the agency to carry the insurance.
Right.
so, okay, I think I'm losing something in this.
Typically in the business, you'll give someone a car allowance, then you'll give them more mileage per month.
Right now, he's doing mileage.
And the idea is what you can give them has to follow the IRS
Mm-hmm,
procedure.
Right?
And, but basically, it ends up, if you do it right, being less expensive than having to do your own vehicle. Because you've got maintenance,
mm-hmm,
you got wear and tear, you have insurance, you have, so, but typically if you work it right, and it's fair to the employee,
mm-hmm,
they make out, and so do we,
mm-hmm.
so. But she's right, we need to see
Mhm.
what the costs are right now for that vehicle versus.
What is going?
Mm-hmm. So, right now, you know, there is no agency vehicle for this person. Because we had an incident where the vehicle was stolen. So, in total, last week. So he is, regardless, he's having to use his own car. And we're having to get our hands on documentation to prove ownership so that we can get a payout. And so in lieu of being provided, you know, an agency vehicle as he typically would, you know,
What's the mileage now, 52 cents, 53 cents?
it's .655.
655.
Is that right?
Typically that covers,
Yeah. Well, I think he got so many other
yeah.
things that affect him or her getting to and from the job and from the site and that
And how
sort
much
of
do
thing.
you
So
value the work
we
that's
just
being
need to
done?
talk, yeah, we need to talk some more
Yeah,
about it.
I'd like some additional information.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Okay.
So is he using his is he or she using their
It's
automobile
personal
right
car.
now?
Yes. There's no agency vehicle right now.
So it'd be $30 now.
Yeah, we paid them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
So,
Anything else?
I would like to table, if it's a resolution, I would like to table the resolution until we get some more
Okay.
information and have that table until the next, I'm putting a motion in there, that we table that resolution until we actually get more information by the next meeting in
Okay.
April.
We
I
have-
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Questions?
I would recommend that he keep track of it, he or she keeps track of the mileage.
Yeah, that's what's happening, yeah.
I just want to say, you never know, they go
Good
to
case.
knowledge at work,
Yeah.
they go to the
Yeah.
store, they go here.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
technology.
I defer to Mr. Carlos.
Mr.
Carlos,
Carlos?
if you'll come up with tech report.
He uses scapegoat.
I don't believe that.
And speak to the phone question that
Yeah.
Commissioner Anthony.
The phones.
Okay, so I've been researching and we did a quick test run. It's gonna take probably middle of next week, but we can set up an auto attendant. So once we know which caseworkers will have which load, when people call in, instead of getting the front desk, there's like, if your last name's A through C, press 1 or things of that nature. That way, the correct caseworker would get it, you'll still be able to hit 0 to get the main desk, and any overflow will go back to the main desk. This would free up the front desk, a lot, so hopefully just free up where everybody can answer the phone and reduce the amount of voicemails. So hopefully by the middle of next week, we'll have that completely built out. And
Carlos, let me ask you, they can access their voicemail from any phone, right?
if they call their particular extension, yes,
Right.
that is correct.
Okay.
I think the auto attendant, that makes it personalized, and it goes to a person, will take a lot of stress off of the front desk and off of individuals, period, because right now, the client response is eating us alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Any other areas of improvement as we move through Yardi and the new phone system that we're dealing with?
Well, like we discussed, the EFT part of it, minus who the money is coming from, was a huge success. It went through, other than that glitch. My recommendation, if I'm allowed, is try to have all the landlords to transition to that. So as far as waiting for a check or anything, that would be eliminated. Two, with the landlord's portal, the landlord has the opportunity to put their banking information in themselves. So that would help, deal with some issues if there are any issues. One thing that I did not take account, did not think about, I did speak with Myron this morning. We didn't disable the last landlord portal to transition to the new one. So a lot of those phone calls, when they went to the old landlord's portal, it didn't post the new payments, and I take responsibility for that. But like I
what
said,
happened? I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, I don't know what you just said.
Okay, so the landlords have the ability to log into
I got that.
a web page to see a ledger.
Mm-hmm.
With the transition to Yardi, I did not cut the old portal off to direct them to the new portal.
Right.
So if they logged into the old one, they did not see their ledger for March, and they would not see anything moving forward.
So what did they do? What happened?
They
Called us.
They called.
They called.
That's what they did.
They really called.
Yeah.
Carlos, let me ask you,
Yes, sir.
in that landlord forum, all that is encrypted, right?
Yes, you have a specific username and password. You can change bank account information. You can see your tenants. So if a tenant's not showing up, they have the opportunity to email us or call us, to try to get that squared away. They can see all their properties.
Inspection results.
Yeah, inspection results, everything is right there.
Okay, and then, antivirus is updated on the regular?
Yes, sir.
Carlos, and this is to you also, Director Benedicto. Did we educate our public as to the changes that we were making here? And apologize ahead of time for the inconvenience.
No, because, we didn't know it's gonna be this inconvenient.
I was gonna say, you didn't have no force for you.
No,
But I mean-
but in terms of the education,
Mm-hmm.
we're learning, we're getting education too.
I mean, not intrinsic education, but more or less, we are changing
Ongoing, this
we're
conversion
changing
and that
over
sort
to
of
a
thing.
conversion.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been,
Yeah.
yeah, we've been communicating that we're
Okay.
going through a conversion, absolutely, with both landlord and tenants. Now they tell us before, they say, we know you're going through a conversion,
Right.
but I have a question,
Right.
yeah.
Let me ask you, how are the kiosks?
Nothing has changed just yet. Once get the website converted over where the landlords and landlords, applicants, and residents transition to Yardi, we'll change the website, which will change the kiosks.
So we're talking about what, maybe 30 days, maybe?
They're about, yes, sir. And with that, we've already started sending letters out to landlords, inviting them to go into the portal. We've reached out to some of our special program residents because those pools are smaller. And within the next week or so, the larger HCV residents, we'll start mailing those letters out to them, inviting them as well.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir. Okay. You think anything else?
No, but once the landlords discover it, they can go to the new portal, allow them where, please, that fix them.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Law, you can't see it, I was just showing, Commissioner Anthony, the letters we've been sending out to the landlords, letting them know about the portal, and I can pass it around. And letting them know what, the portal will provide them in terms of updating their bank information, viewing the ledger, seeing inspection results, casework information, contact information updates. So that's the outreach we've been giving to landlords, and tenants have their version of the letter as well.
Sounds like a plan, man. But I know you're gonna get some frustrated folks, and we just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Jackson.
Really don't have a report other than the main issue with all three towers is security. That's about it. I mean, I saw firsthand Saturday night what the results is. My wife and I came in from the grocery store, and from the main door to the door that enters the building, there was a young lady there that was like beat, and her phone was down, and she asked us to call the police for us. So I called the police, and they came. We don't know if the person who did this to her lived in the building or was outside the building or what. Meanwhile, that night, I took a count of how many times I've made it there. I counted 15 between 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, you got people constantly threatening to move. You got people threatening to file class action suits. because the one issue, which you can't blame them, it's in the lease that you are guaranteed a safe place to live. And that's what people move there for. And now it's like, you know, they come to me every day, and all I can tell them is, it's Gorman. You gotta talk to Gorman. I mean, I don't understand the situation, how you put everything down, especially security. I mean, everything else is okay, but security, I mean, you got a lot of elderly people that live in these buildings. And my fear is you got people that will enter the building and just knock on people's door. And you open the door, you don't tell them what you're gonna get. So, I mean, I reported what I did. I reported the situation that I encountered Saturday night to Miss Hawthorne, and she took account of it. So she knew, and she said she was going to run the cameras back and try to find out what was going on with that, because I mean, you got people threatening. Like I said, you got people threatening. I'm not paying rent until y'all get security up in here. You know, that kind of stuff. So.
Well, Mr. Jackson, you can tell them if they don't pay rent, they'll find them another place to stay.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell them.
One of the things that we will share with you is that our compliance manager, your building is not the only building that's
I know,
having problems.
it's all three. It's all three. I'm getting calls from all three.
But the issue is security, but it's also maintenance.
Yeah.
Our compliance manager, Deborah Center, has been back and forth with Paris Towers for the last almost 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now videoing the condition of the building. In the wash areas, which is on every floor, and Deborah has been walking all 14 floors. There's a garbage backup into the laundry rooms. The garbage dumpsters outside are full. The stairways have human waste. There are squatters on the 11th floor. There are people living under the stairway on the bottom floor. We have sent videos, we have sent still pictures to Brian Swanton and also to Sonia Dross to inform them of all the issues. We have also made them aware that if they don't fix the problem, we will not relinquish our responsibility to the residents to not make sure that the situation gets fixed, okay? So there is a movement, and Mr. Lowe and now Mr. Lindsay will have to get involved in to make sure, and again, we're sending our compliance manager in to do those videos. So it's not like we're showing up in the corner and back in the dark. We're showing up, knocking on the door, and making ourselves known to the property management people. So it's not like, you know, we're doing anything underhanded.
Yeah.
We're doing our job.
And that you say that, maintenance issues. Now, I visit power towers, and, you know, power towers seem to be
Clean.
more complained and clean.
Yes.
Our towers, actually, we at one time did have trash, but no, we got a new maintenance man now, so it takes a lot off for Roy. So I know Roy's still at power towers, and I actually met the new maintenance man about 3 weeks ago at our building. And we also have a person who's cleaning the building. And I mean, he's dedicated just to clean and mop every floor, make ridiculous trash and everything, because like our laundry area, we have a trash can in there now, and it's always empty. Every day, the guy empties it, then he goes outside and does the ground too. So it's improvement, it's a process, but I don't know what's going on with Paris House. I don't know what's going on over there, but.
It's part of management.
It is, it is.
It's a management issue.
And I think it's like you said, it's a manager's issue, but I think they go according to each manager, is comparable and
It's top and works
accountable
down.
for their building.
Area.
And our manager has been, I have to take my hat off. My manager has been working. And I mean, I've seen her out. She's not in her office all the time. She's out with the residents, kind of, hey, what's this question? You know, what's that question? So I don't know about all the other managers doing that, and I think that's a good thing there, to be out where your residents see you instead of being in your office, locked up, closed door, saying, I'm closed. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the main issue we got right now that's the security. I mean, I guess it's like they say, once you get one thing settled, something else always comes through. And so we got the maintenance issue pretty much resolved now, we got the security issue, so.
Well, I can put this caveat out there, that if the resident do file a lawsuit, it won't be against MHLC.
No, they don't, because I'm getting so many people asking for
To tell
Brian
who?
Swinton's phone number,
Yeah.
his email,
Well, that's,
and,
That sounds good.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
So,
Yeah, they'll be on Gorman.
yeah, I know this is all on Gorman's watch. I mean, to me, at one night, I happened to look at the building, and I was like, I'm sitting there looking at it from the outside, and I'm looking at all these people just roaming around outside, and I'm like, this is like a movie. It's like y'all just threw the building away. It's like, you know, you have no security, and they know it. So they gonna stand by the door until somebody comes in with their badge and badge them in, and they go on inside.
well, they reported in one of our meetings that residents had taken over, weren't you on that call? That residents had taken over the security portion and how pleased they were that residents were taking that initiative. And I said, and you're liable if a resident gets hurt.
Get hurt.
Yes, sir.
I
used to.
I
I mean, really?
I admit, I was kind of like that. I looked at that and I'm like,
Oh, my.
okay, so what really got me into it is one night I was coming in and this guy was standing by the door. And he was just sitting on the phone. So when I was kind of hesitant to, you know, open the door. So I opened the door. And so he came in and he started going to the elevator. And I'm like, did you check in? Oh, man, I come up here all the time. I said, did you check in?
We ain't doing that.
yeah.
And so he's like, I said, you gotta check in, man. So he went on back out the door. And the door closed. I sit there till the door closed. I'm like, you know what? And like I told him, you gonna see a bad side of me if something happened to me or mine.
I know they will.
I mean,
Yeah, it's something just waiting to happen.
yeah, it is. It's
Time bomb.
just a time bomb waiting to happen. But
So-
like I said, I hope something resolved it just before that conference, you know what I'm saying?
We have given them contacts to the local police to set up security after hours over there, which is what we use on CAHC's properties. We have given them everything that we could give.
To take
and
steps
To take steps to resolve the problem, but it's falling on dead ears, so.
I got to have them to the little out there. They come when you call. At first, at one time, they were getting so many crazy calls, like
From the
that, you know, from the tenants.
Yeah,
You know, they're like, so-and-so got their music loud.
yeah.
You know, so-and-so won't get off my car. We arguing, you know. But now they coming on twos. They ain't coming in ones. They coming with backup already.
So,
Because I guess they know, like, you know, address. You know how some people, they get that address in there? You say 311 East 8th Street, and they're like, okay, yeah, we got to send 2 cars instead of 1. So, but that's my report. I mean, it's basically, that's it.
is it that maybe MHA needs to take some sort of formal complaint to them?
They, please trust. You hadn't seen my email.
Yes, I have. I mean, yeah, and that's, CHAC side, but MHA, yes.
We meet with them every week.
Yeah.
It ain't like they don't know about this.
No, it's
You know
not.
about this.
And they keep saying, oh, we got it cleaned up. You know, in the trash thing,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, somebody dropped an ironing board. It was so much trash, everybody in the building would have had to put an ironing board down the chute.
Got that right.
So, I mean, it makes no sense at all what's taking place there.
It's just they have no movement, and they're not using the operating budget for that amp to do the things that need to be done, such as security and maintenance. How the hell you gonna have one maintenance man for 3 buildings? That doesn't make any sense.
And that's what they were doing.
And now they're trying to clean some aspect of that up, but it's not cleaned up entirely, and you're gonna have to have more runs. They use Republic as their dumpster folk, and there are a minimum, and yes, there are 14 floors, and yes, Paris Towers is bigger than the other towers. So you got a lot more activity going on there. But all that means is that you make the adjustment to take care of the excess of what takes place there. But it simply is not being done. It's unhealthy for the residents, because whatever filth is in the laundry room, they track it back to their primary residence. So it puts them in a vulnerable situation where people could be getting sick over there from just us and the partners not taking care of the
The
business.
cleanliness and uncleanness.
So we'll try again, and
One more
then,
thing, the other thing is, what's her name?
Where?
She called me from Gorman.
Kelly
You know about
Griffin.
Kelly?
Yeah, now, let me tell you something funny about this situation. For the first 2 weeks that she called me and let me know who she was, every time we got ready to have a meeting, she called me. Is there anything we need to talk about? So
she ain't
then, when the security issue came up, I called Miss Anthony and told her that Friday. I called her and told her about it. Well, I tried to call her. Called her 3 times a day. Leave a message. Please get in touch with me. I got a question for you. I haven't heard from her since.
Nah.
She didn't call for this meeting. So,
Nah, they ain't
you know,
talking.
and I try not to, you know, they always ask me, well, you don't go over our head. Okay, I give y'all the benefit of the doubt. So
Well, where is she
I'm going to
gonna go?
follow channel. But you pressed my hand. I mean, I've even sent Brian Swinton an
Email about this.
just a question, you know, what's going on with security? You know, but
Anyway, we'll continue the good fight.
I look at it like this, thank God for our manager, at least she's trying to, you know,
Do something.
she's sheltering us. She's doing, you know, what she needs to do.
Okay, Finance Committee report. I really don't have anything.
You think so?
I just express my concern concerning their audit that we've been seeing dragging along for ever and ever, and we're just getting behind her and behind her.
Behind her, behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we got 3 years worth,
Yes, sir. All right.
22, 21, and 20.
Yeah, we're working on 23.
Now 23 gonna come at the next.
Well,
it's
yeah,
always- it's always a year
but that
behind.
information is piling up some, you know.
Yeah, it is, yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
is.
got to manage that, you know. We need to close those books eventually.
And we will.
Yeah. Okay, any old business? I saw the design group, but
He had to leave.
he had to leave, okay? Nobody from Gorman.
Oh, boy, wow.
And we heard from, David Goff,
Yeah, that was AUD.
yeah. And the resolutions.
Yes. So, resolution 6859, that has to do with the special application process to do any type of disposition of that building, which the board have been talking about really for quite some time. Well, yeah, 201 East Roosevelt, which is the building they were actually talking about.
Yeah.
There's an application process and there's an approval that HUD has to give for that building to be disposed of and sold on open market. So this is resolution authorizing the Little Rock Housing Authority, DBA MHA, submission of an application for Section 18 disposition approval to properly dispose and sell on open market the non-dwelling property located at 201 East Roosevelt, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72201.
And we're gonna table
Tables.
Yeah, that's the next month.
the next one, okay.
the
6860.
car allowance.
Yeah.
On the motion 6859, are you ready for a motion?
Ready for a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 2023-03-6859.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, the motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, can I take a point of privilege here?
Yes, sir.
After me, since I'm present,
Ladies first.
we're always, point of privilege, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, a couple of introductions that need to, and we should have done this at the beginning of the meeting, and we were careless. Before this astute gentleman who's sitting next to me is allowed to speak, I do want to introduce the executive assistant for CAAC, who works out of our 1000 Wolf location, Ms. Redonna Eddie, who is now on staff with us. So you do get someone who answers the phone at 1000 Wolf and directs our calls to all our different locations. And she's a just retired individual who came to us from DHS by way of the police department, by way of 2 or 3 other well-connected groups that we're ecstatic about having. And I can tell you, I'm beginning to feel some relief because of what she is able to take off of our plate over at CAAC. That's my first point. Second is, with this being the introduction of the new and the celebration of the old, and I don't mean that lineage right. I do think that CAAC, not CAAC, wrong meeting, MHA has been extremely blessed to have had a Kenyon Lowe with us for the time frame that he has been here. He's been more or less the warden for the group in keeping us on track with CFRs, and really has made us better as commissioners and made the agency stronger because he's a fighter. So we're all better because we had the opportunity to serve with Kenyon Lowe. Now that's the old. We're getting Mr. Kerry Wright.
Carry, right, yeah.
And Mr. Wright has been tenacious. Mr. Wright visited our meetings before we went into COVID. Made us aware of who he was. We were having the meeting over at Cumberland.
I'm coming to town,
Yeah, and he came and visited with us because he had a strong interest. And for that to have been then, and him now sitting here, it means that he really wants to serve. And that portion, more than anything else, is impressive. I read his resume. He's well-rounded and quite capable of doing this job. But what stuck with me more than anything else was his tenacity to, from then to now, still be interested in doing this work. And what we will say to you is what we tell everybody else who comes to this job. This is not going to be an easy lift. But if you stick and stay, we can have it all. We really can. It's been a struggle with the staff and everybody staying together. We have been successful. Many have come to kill and left empty-handed. But we have, we just believe that we've got a great team to do things. And Chairman Lowe, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Mr. Wright to speak first, and then we'll hear from you.
Not a problem, man.
Mr. Wright.
Thank you. What an outstanding introduction. Thank you so much. I hail from Texas, Houston, Texas, and I was on a, if you don't mind me
Yes,
saying.
you go ahead. There, we have
I hail from Houston, Texas, and was part of the Harris County Housing Authority from 2012 to 2018, served as vice chairman, chairman. Went in there when we had some issues with Rita, Katrina, and we had FEMA in there, and we had some issues, some major issues. But it was a lot of fun working and making things right. And so I enjoy this, and I must say that Harris County really won me over to a housing authority, to loving, to work with the folks and doing, helping people who are in need of housing, who are in need of places to stay. So with that, thank you very much for that warm welcome, and I'm, Mr. Lowe, I hope we see you. Love to sit down and pick your brain, because from what I understand, you're the master of disaster. So,
Bring your lunch when you go.
so with that, I'll turn that over to Mr. Lowe. Thank you.
Well, it's been a good 11-year run, y'all.
11.
11 like family, we fight like cats and dogs.
Yes,
And
Lord.
at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree and move on.
Yeah.
Not going too far away, I'll be right over at CABC, so I'll just be a phone call away if you need me. But it's been a blessing these last 11 years, and we hope to do bigger and better things in the future. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you there, Mr.
See,
Lowe. Thank
we
you
went
very
through the
much.
trouble of having this nice
Cake
cake,
and
and we had planned to really ooh and ah over you. I'm glad that party's over with.
Yeah.
Lindsay will bring your cake.
A piece.
Peace.
I looked up and saw the cake, I said, cake, no low? I said, I thought today was supposed to be your day.
Okay.
Thank you, and I really appreciate you, Mr. Lowe, Chairman Lowe. I'll always call you Chairman. Thank you again.
Hey, I appreciate y'all.
All right.
I'll be calling you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we all be calling you.
Yeah. Executive session?
No executive
No.
session.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's good.
All in favor, stand up and leave.
Well, you got lunch. You got lunch.
We
You got lunch.
yeah.
You got lunch.
Have lunch.
I'll bring you lunch too.
All right, y'all be good.
All right, you too, man.
Yeah.